I know there's the burning of the Library of Alexandria where they lost a lot of the information, but I think that might have been a book heist. Really? Yeah, I think the burning of the Library of Alexandria was the heist. The burning did happen, don't get me wrong, but that was just a distraction to steal the knowledge, and that the majority of that knowledge ended up in the Vatican archives. I know. I knew you were going to say the Vatican. Vatican is one of my favorites. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I went there with my family a few years back and I was blown away, and I highly recommend it to anybody that gets to go to Rome. If you go to Rome, please go to the Vatican. It's stunning. It's stunning. All the artwork they have. And they also have an Egyptian obelisk. Yes, right in the center. And you know that obelisk, that courtyard is the same courtyard as Tun. If you look at 2 dimensions, not the dimensions but just the actual shape of that courtyard, it matches the courtyard of Tian. Really? Yeah, it's an incredible coincidence that they built it based on Tian, where the Avenue of the Dead has those platforms and then you have the Pyramid of the Sun on the right and the Pyramid of the Moon straight ahead. That area resembles the courtyard of the Vatican. Wow, the Vatican is so insane. Really, I didn't know. I knew that it had a lot of art. I didn't know it's outrageous. When you go to St. Peter's Basilica, you're just like, what? What did you do? How did you do? How much time did this take? This is so intricate and so incredible. I know. It's one of the most spectacular things I think I've ever seen in my life in terms of like what human beings can do, with ingenuity and time and artisans and craftsmen and people, artisans that just create the most insane ceiling you've ever seen in your life. So intricate. I mean, and perfect for a house of worship because you walk in there, you believe in God like immediately. Like how, this is obviously to God. Exactly. And the fact that they did it for so long, it took hundreds of years to make that place. I know, it's incredible. It's so amazing. It lets you know that there were time periods where people would operate within a golden age in certain regions of the planet and have time to do that type of extensive art and craft and beauty. Create that kind of beauty. Right? And the only way you do that is when you got your resources covered and your army strong. That's it. And that was Rome. Yep. I mean, that's what they were back then. They tried to take over the world. Yeah, and the thing about what they have is they don't have to kind of tell you. Yeah, like, so if they do, like there's archives that they have in Rome that haven't been searched. Like, they're not just opening them up to everyone that everyone could look in and see what they have. So there's always been speculation that they have some wild, _ written down in there. Yeah, some wild stuff. I mean, they're investigating aliens, you know. Right? I mean, one of the Pope's most recent astronomers, they were talking about years ago that the Pope wanted to baptize the first alien. Now that's incredible. That's an incredible statement. That'd be like turning Michio Kaku into a Scientologist. Right? It's like, that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. And then they built this telescope called Lucifer to look for alien life. That's not a good name. Yeah, you would think out of anybody who would know better, right? The light bearers, that you know what Lucifer means, supposedly. But yeah, they built a telescope named Lucifer. Right. But the swastika used to be a symbol of peace. You can't really use it anymore. No, you can't use it I know. It's like things can be stolen forever. No one's rocking that Hitler mustache. That's a wrap. It's over. Hitler mustache is over. No one's getting called Adolf. That's over. That's over. So I guess they didn't want to, cut that name loose, but they utilized that name for the naming of that. And it's actually in America. I believe it's in Arizona. Really? Yeah. No kidding. Wow. Lucifer telescope. Oh, kooky. I know. All of the telescopes are fascinating.